this COVID vaccination is an extra layer above COVID. COVID is there where you can schedule vaccinations. But in the practical sense, when there was a lot of crisis of vaccines, and the vaccines had to be administered at a very, at very remote locations in rural parts of West Bengal, a need arise that we would also be able to make a to augment COVID with a vaccine chatbot. A vaccine chatbot was very successful in the state during those times. Now almost there is no demand for vaccines, so nobody even goes into COVID. But during 2021, when the vaccination was first introduced, the vaccine chatbot was a very huge hit in the state. What it does is, there is a chatbot. There is basically a number where you say hi, and it enables you to book vaccine slots for. It has the capability of scheduling based on type of vaccine, age, type of dose, etc. And date-wise time slots of half an hour are allocated. We know in COVID that the time slots were like 2 hours, and it was sometimes like people used to stand in queue in the morning. They used to get their Aadhaar and other details verified. They used to be registered in the small vaccine centers like PHEs and all, the primary health centers, and the health centers used to give them a slip, and they had to again come in the afternoon, and there was a huge crowd, and managing that crowd was very difficult. So there was no proper social distancing. Uh, so here you could get date-wise time slots of half an hour through just a simple WhatsApp chatbot. Say hi to the chatbot, and it will book the vaccination slot for you. So this is the one. It was first introduced for Kolkata Municipal Corporation. You basically enter your year of birth, and it calculates your birth year should be before 1976. So when there was age restriction, etc., and type of photo ID card. And one more important thing of this particular WhatsApp chatbot is you would also be able to verify whether that is a uh, genuine vaccination center or not. Uh, you enter the pin code, and it will let you know which UPHC you will be able to access very near, and what is the availability slot which is there in that particular UPHC. So once it is done, the WhatsApp chatbot itself will give a confirmation, and also will give you a reminder. So these features are not there in COVID. So we developed this additional layer on top of COVID for managing this chatbot. It was a huge hit. This data is not updated. It says 2 crore vaccination transaction, but it is almost 5 crore now. And it was developed very quickly within 3 days. Just come in national news. You can see on NDTV also you will be able to see the vaccination chatbot which SCMT has done for the state. So, sir, that is all about the vaccination chatbot. Any questions?
Good initiative. I think you have been able to achieve the objective that you faced at the ground level. And if you have been able to deploy it within 3 days, I think that's an excellent effort.
One more thing I want to mention here, WhatsApp is generally very expensive, 40 paisa per transaction. So if there is 5 crore transaction, it's almost it will run into 2 crores.
That's right.
But at that time, we got a special offer from Facebook. We bought a pipe for 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs plus GST only. So you could do unlimited number of transactions. So it doesn't had a barrier that time. Also 3 months free. So total 9 months. By paying only 2,36,000. So the cost was highly optimized.
Sir, I do have one question.
Right.
See, nowadays everyone does have the smartphone, but there are some people who don't own the smartphones. So
Hmm.
what about those number of people or those categories who don't have the smartphone accessibility? So have you taken care of them also?
In case when we we first thought the same. I mean, our thought process was also the same. But you remember when we booked the Shomik special trains when the migrant workers were coming back from various states to West Bengal during the lockdown period.
Yeah.
Okay, so that time we found that we introduced one WhatsApp bot at that time also for booking the passengers in the various trains. We also thought at that time that why do a chatbot for entry pass, exit pass, booking of for standard migrant laborers. But the response was very good. Response on WhatsApp chatbot, although we thought that that people will not have smartphone, etc. But the response was very good. That inspired us to create chatbots. Almost 30 COVID applications, out of which 7 or 8 are on chatbot itself. So chatbot was really successful. Unlike to our first expectation was that it may not be popular, but the number of transactions was it is because it is very convenient to use the chatbot rather than go into Cowin and use your fastest finger first, because getting Cowin slots at that time was also very difficult.
Good, good, good. No, that is there. I think smartphones have become quite pervasive right now.
Yeah, correct, sir. Everyone, are you able to view my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, we have a application for issuing NOCs for hosting the Durga Puja here in West Bengal. In fact, it's not only Durga Puja, any festival, we grant the permission through the festival application. So this application is actually developed on a rapid application development platform, which is on Expert. And it is basically a single window where municipality, land, fire, PCB, power, pollution control board, and power, they grant the permission to the various pujas, so that the application can be processed through each one of them. It is a single window system. As you can see, this is the basically the organization structure and stakeholder flow chart. So the applicant files an application. He has to pay the fees for power connection, and has to comply with the environmental norms. He has to get a fire safety license. He has to get a clearance from the BLRO, DLRO of the concerned area, so that he is able to put up his pandal and arrange for the crowd management. So finally, the clearance is given by the local police commissionerate or the district authorities. So the application goes to the police station or the traffic guard, and the flow is through the police inspector or the DCP, and or the traffic DCP, and the final NOC is received by the applicant, provided he also gets the clearance from the other departments. This is for a particular district. This is a login page. Howrah Police Commissioner Durga Puja permission application. Uh, so he has to fill in the basic details like the club organization details, which are organizing the puja, and this application actually runs for only 2 or 3 months in a year, but the number of transactions on this application is huge. The festival start date and the festival end date is used for the calculation of the tariff for the temporary electricity connection given by WBSEDCL. WBSEDCL provides power to the entire state, and only Kolkata is managed by the CESC, Calcutta Electricity Supply Corporation. Earlier, this entire thing was done offline, and it was very inconvenient for the people, for the various clubs. Now we have the registration number, etc., of the clubs, where it is located, and already a verification is done by local authorities. So it is very easy to have this information handy and generate MIS reports. So this is basically the form. Information about the secretary and the president, uh, the size of the entry and exit points for the fire clearance, when it is going to start, and when will be the immersion proceedings. Like, immersion also takes place. A huge crowd gathers uh, in the banks of the river where the idol is going to get immersed. So the immersion details are also taken from there, and the clearance is given on a particular date when they can uh, hold the immersion procession. Basically, this is what the application dashboard looks like. Durga Puja, a particular club number, his application number is displayed, and his particulars with respect to all these departments like fire, pollution control board, CSC, and land. They are also coming up in the dashboard. Supporting documents, these needed to be uploaded, whether a NOC was granted earlier or not, and what was the uh, electricity bill that was what was the power charges which were incurred in the last puja. The design of the pandal, etc., is taken into consideration. So these are the sign-in pages. Uh, this is basically what the application looks like. This is the dashboard. Um, you can see the action history of the various departments which have approved or forwarded the applications, and at what level those are pending are also viewable by the different department as well as the applicants. So for the applicant, it is a transparent mechanism by which he can understand where, in which stage his application is in, and whether he needs to take any action on his application, whether further supporting documents, etc., are required or not. There is a mechanism for online payment, or whether it can be waived off in any particular cases. So the fee collected is completely online. He doesn't have to go to the electricity department to submit his fees. This is for the power department, state electricity board. Normally, when the application goes uh, uh, to the state electricity board, they generate a quotation amount, and this quotation amount is also automated because uh, the state electricity board is on a SAP system. We have integrated it with their SAP system, and the quotation is automatically generated and verified by the electricity department officials. Same thing. This is for Kolkata. For the Kolkata, the power agency is different. It is CSC. And yeah, this is the final NOC given by the police department, and he knows whether all the various NOCs from the other departments have been taken before he can issue the final certificate to the particular puja. Various dashboard, traffic guards, uh, final approval, final NOC, and this is the NOC issued by the municipal commissioner. This is a fire clearance, and pollution control board generally gives a list of guidelines which they need to follow. The noise while using a loudspeaker, the following maximum permissible limits have to be observed. It is given in the certificate, and the commissioner of police generally issues the particular clearance NOC to the final NOC to the puja.
So a couple of questions. Since this is a single window application and the
Yeah.
applicant doesn't have to go to the various departments, one
Right.
thing which is not very clear is what is the process flow. See, once he applies, is there any process flow which is managed, and who manages this process flow? Because various approvals are required, and many of these approvals are independent, but they are then consolidated by police, and police will give approval only after all other approvals are there. Once police gives approval, then only the municipality is going to give the final approval. So what is not very clear, how the process flow is managed, who manages it, and who manages this application.
So the final NOC is issued by the concerned police authorities. So this is a single window system where we dynamically generate a common application form. If we talk about the as-is system before which existed previously, the particular club or the organization had to go to the different departments and to pick up a form each from each one of them. The process was very tedious. Now the CAF is generated dynamically. I mean, there is only one application form. So the common fields need not be re-entered once again. The number of documents have also come down a lot because you don't need to submit with
That's
the
okay.
same document.
So it means that there is only one application, but then
Right.
that application will have to be routed to various departments, which typically will have its own process flow. It can go parallelly to three departments also, and only once they approve it, the things will move forward. But who manages this process flow?
Absolutely, sir. Like I said, the nodal department is the home department.
Home
The home department is the center of that, and the CAF. How we do the CAF is similar to the ease of doing business. In ease of doing business, you have a single window where there is a common application form generated, and let us say entrepreneur wants to start a business in West Bengal. He only fills up a single form, and it gets split up dynamically in the back end. It is not visible to him. It is only visible within the system. The system administrator is able to view it, that it gets split up after submission and goes to the various departments. Only those particular fields which are required for the particular department is what it is sent to them, and it hits their database because they are also online. They are also on an enterprise architecture. So that is how the CAF actually works. It builds the form dynamically, and also it splits up and sends it to other separately to each and every department. Only the necessary fields, not everything. Like you will not require the power connection details for, let us say, the municipality or the pollution control board. They only want to know what will be the sound decibel level, what is the area of the square feet, etc., etc.
So since how long this application is working?
This was launched in 2017, sir. 2017 puja. From then it has been launched and it is running successfully. Every year we are processing more than 50,000 applications between the months of August till November for the various pujas.
Good, excellent, very good. Thank you.
Sir,
Sure.
I do have one question. As you said, this is earlier it was in a offline mode, and then you have come up with the single window. So earlier, how much time it was taking for getting the application and to getting that approval, and after this getting on the online on the single window, how much time it is taking right now to get an approval for that things?
Uh, Earlier, the time, there is no saving of the time because by the direction of the CM's office, all the puja permissions have to be issued as quickly as possible before the puja. So CM generally herself holds a meeting with all the clubs and organizations, and all the licenses were always given on time. There was no issue with that. The only problem what the various organizations faced was that there was no transparency. They had to spend hours and hours in queue, and they also did not know what is the exact quotation, because the electricity load and other calculation used to take a long time. So it has served them, it has spared them the harassment, as well as it has saved them, and it has given a lot of transparency within the system. And at the highest authority, the the mechanism is there where they are able to know how many cases are pending at this moment across the state. So the puja licenses traditionally have always been given on time, because it was always intervened by the highest level in the state. There was no delays earlier, but this online application has introduced transparency and has reduced the burden on the common man.
So basically, the end stakeholder, it has given a lot of flexibility.
Yes, yes, it has given a lot of relief to the end stakeholder.
No, I understand. When a project like marriage is there, everything goes on time, but it's the inconvenience which has to be taken care of. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
So next one is integrated COVID management system. Integrated COVID management system is one of the most innovative programs we had during the COVID times. Uh, Mobile app, WhatsApp bot, and portal. All three went live together within 2 weeks. And the most important thing it did is it enabled a citizen to search for COVID bed availability and oxygen availability, which were a huge demand at that time in both government and private hospital for their selected area. I mean, we gave for government hospitals the form. A form was there. Even within the app also you could do the same, that you could provide the patient details, upload a copy of the COVID positive report, and the system will allocate a bed to you in the safe home, or in an isolation area, or within a government hospital. And for the private hospitals, you will be able to see the beds available in the hospital, and patient can then call the hospital and get themselves admitted. A government order went to all the health centers, the private as well as the government, that they need to log into the ICMS portal and update the availability of HDU beds, ventilator beds, and other normal COVID beds on a real-time basis. So every 2 hours, all the medical institutions in the state used to update the bed and oxygen availability. And the patient would also be able to search for availability of ambulance, hearse van, and crematorium related information. So there were admission cell help desk and district coordination centers where you could go and seek help if necessary. You can see this in the Digital India page, the ICMS application. You can try this WhatsApp number 7596056446 and see how it works. Um, so, so like I said, new bed request, status check with real-time integration with the West Bengal health system. Um, District-wise bed availability, you could filter on district, type and feature-based ambulance search facility, district-wise husband search and booking facility was there, direct calling feature to district coordination center, district-wise direct calling feature to admission center, nodal officer for burial and cremation, and also search facility for burial and cremation. So see, in this mobile app as well as in the WhatsApp bot, This is how it will display the total number of COVID hospitals, the total capacity and availability, the ICU beds, the HDU beds, all the availability is given in the app as well as in the WhatsApp bot. This is a new bed request. All you need to upload the lab report and the details of the patient. Availability of safe homes and bed availability in the different safe homes. People who were not critically ill, they were moved into safe homes and they were given observation, they were kept under observation by the doctors, where ambulances were also there in the safe homes. If situation turned critical for any patient, he was moved immediately to a ICU facility. This is the database of ambulance providers. Database of Hertz van providers. There was a lack of Hertz van, and some people used to charge exorbitant fees for moving bodies. We have seen that. So if you go through this app, you will get it on a very reasonable and government approved rates with proper precautions taken by the drivers. This is the district coordination database and the admission database. Burial and cremation details. That's all, sir.
Good. So who developed this application?
This application was the core application was developed by NIC, the chatbot and the app was developed by SCMT industry.
You are representing which organization?
State e-governance mission team, sir. I am part of the e-governance department. Government of
You are a CMT.
Great, sir.
So it has been coordinated through the IT department, through SCMT has been coordinating all these efforts. What was your role in this?
My role in this was to design the WhatsApp bot. The WhatsApp bot actually requires a flow chart to be filled.
Okay.
So the database is there. Database is given by the health department. So like, they will provide it only in the form of a Excel. Now to operationalize the entire thing, the workflow has to be given and the testing has to be done. SCMT does the testing as well as it does the design and architecture of the application, how the queries will run, what will be the optimized path, and what should be the response time of the various queries which are running, what will be the user base. SCMT has to do the sizing of the servers as well, because based on the user load and the concurrency, etc. It has to consider how much VM is required, what will be the size of the VM, etc. So those specifications we send it to state data center. State data center is under IT department, and they create the VM for us on which the applications are installed by the developers. It is all done under supervision of SCMT.
Okay. How big is the SCMT team now?
So right now it is it's around 5.
That's all.
Headcount is 5. Yeah, that's all, sir.
Because I think 9 was sanctioned for your state.
Right, sir. Our state sanction strength is 10. We are running on 9. We don't know about what is the future of CB3. I don't know whether it has been approved or not. Maybe based on that, on the capacity building funds, it may be further expanded.
So that will happen. I think that will happen. So this is the third or the fourth renewal of CBC. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Thanks.
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Next step. So I decided through convergence we can I conducted various camps at various locations where the TGs dwelt, and we identified many transgenders and we gave them the basic documents such as like Aadhaar card, voter card, and mostly the medical insurance card, which they previously they didn't get it. Then afterwards, their major demand was housing, where they were denied by many house owners since they live in groups, or maybe they and also they are not. They are very marginalized, and their livelihood is not so sustainable, so they couldn't afford for their housing. So to cater to all these needs, we started this mega camp to uplift the livelihood and to achieve a sustainable developer goal, and to create a self-reliant transgender community in my district. So for this, we have received the CM Best Practices Award, and the caption is creating self-reliant transgender community in Chengalpattu district by providing basic amenities including housing, sustainable development, livelihood for a dignified life. And I have presented some of this is our collector inaugurating the Bhumi Puja function for their housing, and I have mobilized 3.5 crore now for building this from a like-minded organization, because initially the funding for this transgender housing was a big challenge, and with the help of district administration, we got 50 patta lands for the transgenders, so that 200 transgender will be benefited through this housing unit. And this is actually the living condition before because they are living in a 10 by 10 room with a 5 to 6 transgenders in a single room, as they couldn't afford for the rent. Now this is a building hope. I've posted here the initial stages from the basement, and now it is to the and in each one is provided with a separate house. And now in addition, we are planning for steps so that they could utilize the so many basic amenities are being provided day by day. We are improving their houses, and now they are very happy. And then only the providing housing alone is not sufficient for them. So we concentrated on the sustainable sustainable livelihood. So we organized various camps, and we asked them what they really want to do and asked their interest. So they all gave their interest, and so we are now, with the help of the government and the organization which sponsored for the housing, is also come forward for bringing projects for them, for giving them a sustainable livelihood, and so that they can earn an average income of 1,000 rupees per day. Like that, we are planning in a very big way, and we have started our journey also. Then this is the almost 13. I converged the 13 departments to give them all this kind of smart card, Tamil Nadu CM health insurance card, then voter ID card, MGNRS job card. Then from Magli Thitam we got many. We have given around 16 lakh, 8 lakh loan to them, like this. So that we are empowering them with all the basic amenity through convergence. Then these are the photographs of various the camp details and the job card and other cards issued by our ministers and our secretaries. And since with all this convergence and working for the livelihood, sustainable livelihood through, and providing their basic documents, we are ensured the gender equality in the community as they are marginalized. And also we have almost achieved all the goals of the sustainable development goal through this project. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a nice effort which you are doing.
Thank you, sir.
I would just like to know, how do you measure the outcomes of your initiative?
Sir,
is there any metrics to measure the outcomes?
Yes, sir. Sir, for example, we have given ID cards to 296. After this camp, we have identified 296 TGs in our district, sir. They all came forward for the camp, and now I've identified. We have given ID card, which is this is a basic ID card through which they get all the other like if they have this ID card, they can get the Aadhaar card. When they get the Aadhaar card, they can get the Rash Smart card. So like this, various basic documents have been provided to them, as well as the 50 housing. We have constructed a 50 housing for them. So this is all measurable.
I think my question is slightly different. I'm not asking what you have achieved. These are the outputs what you have achieved.
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm asking is, when you set up a project, there's always a certain outcomes and a metrics which is targeted, that by the end of it, you are going to achieve so much percentage of improvement, or by providing these particular outputs, what do you really expect to bring about improvements in measurable manner? So my question is more in what are the measurements which were decided at the start of the project, and which have been achieved and which are not yet achieved, and how do you plan to improve upon it? Because that's where the real essence is. To make a project sustainable, there has to be a constant improvement and constant expansion. So,
Yes, sir. Now it is an ongoing process, sir. And now I have taken another 50 applicants from the transgenders, and another 50 I'm working on for another 50 housing unit for the transgender, and
let me put a question a slightly different way. How much percentage of transgenders have you covered till now?
some I've covered. Since they are in mobile population, sir, as on date, I have 296 transgender in my Chengalpet district. I have identified, and we have given the transgender ID card. So, and now again, I have today, as on date, I have received 20 applications for, since they come from various districts. They were from various districts and various states. And since my district is closer to Chennai, they always like to settle somewhere in city-based district. So for them also we are giving them.
Pardon me, Governor.
As on dates, the number of applications which are received from the transgenders are being processed, sir. And I cannot definitely say that it is 100%, because day by day the TTs are getting mobilized to our district, and every month we are issuing new ID cards to the various transgenders. It is an ongoing process.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.